Yadira, I just assigned you to a breakout room, so you should be able to accept that invitation. I realize you just got here. They'll let you know what's going on, okay? And
Thank you
Keisha,
so much.
you are so welcome. Don't stress. You didn't miss almost anything.
Okay, yes, we have some people on our campus that's still doing dismissals, so that's why
I know.
they're going to be a little late.
That's
Thank
totally fine. You're totally good, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Keisha and Patricia, for some reason, I don't see you. Were there in breakout rooms? And you should have popped up and I should be able to add you, but I don't see you. So if I can't get you in a breakout room, it'll be about 3 minutes. But let me try to work it.
That's fine. I just joined. I was in the typing my registration part of the beginning. Okay.
Okay, and I apologize. I tried to offer a time that I thought would be sufficient for folks to be able to get back from dismissal, but unfortunately it's too early. So I'm gonna be offering more sessions starting at 4 in October. But let me go ahead and share my screen with you so that you and Keisha can see. All you've missed so far is, let me go back here, our objectives. So we're gonna look at the first 3 steps of Marzano's 6-step process for acquiring vocabulary. And we're going to learn how to and practice using sentence stems with new vocabulary in order to facilitate academic speaking and academic writing. Okay?
Okay.
So, and they'll be back in about a minute.
All right, okay.
So I'm really glad that you're here. If you want to put in the chat so that other folks can see it, what district you're in, what you're teaching, and if you're face-to-face or virtual or both, that would be great.
Okay, okay, all right.
Anyone else that is, so it looks like Yadira wasn't able to join a room. Sorry, I put you in one, maybe it didn't go.
Yeah, it didn't, I can join this now, thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. And Keisha, also, I apologize, I'm not able to assign you and I don't know why. But they'll be back, I'm closing the rooms right now and then they'll have 60 seconds.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see.
If you're still just hanging on with me, you only got 20 more seconds. So thank you for your patience. All right, we should be getting everybody back momentarily. All right, so hopefully you elected a spokesperson. So if that person wants to put themselves in the chat or simply unmute, tell me, what did your group decide? Which strategy is best and why?
Well, our group, which was Javier and it's hard because everybody's on different screens. So the group that group 1, breakout 1, that's what we were. Okay, so breakout 1, we discussed that one of them just by itself and ignoring everything else might not be enough. You know, we liked the strategies from all 4 of them. If we had to only pick one, I think we're leaning towards C because it had structured talking as well as writing to prompts and sentence stems.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
All right, So who wants to vehemently disagree? No, I'm just kidding. Who else would like to share out? Please don't vehemently disagree. It's rude. Don't do that. All right. We have time for one or two more if anyone wants to.
Well,
Oh,
Go ahead.
Well, I was part of group 3, and we thought, well, I thought when you're younger and learning new vocabulary, because students often associate different symbols with different pictures, and then as they got older, they can do the sentence structure and then build their vocabulary. One lady in our group said that when she was teaching, she did D often, most of the time, as opposed to the rest of them.
okay. So then what I hear you saying is that it can depend on the audience based on their age, right? And then kind of what it is that you're trying to do in terms of how you're trying to teach that content. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's a valid answer. Fantastic. Thank you. So Maria, you want to go ahead and jump in?
Yes, our group, we were not able to choose one. We actually believe that the 4 are extremely important because that anchor chart will have that memory, and for those that are visual, they're gonna have that constant going back to that. Then relating words is super important because it will take that word from being abstract to that reality. And we talked about, for example, in math, talking about the identity property and just talking about what is identity. Well, identity is who I am. So what will make a number say what it is? And then you don't even have to explain that word because they're associating with something else. And the importance of having those prompts will take them to have a higher vocabulary because it's going to be guiding them. And then all we will continue is reinforcing to have that strong vocabulary constantly. So we think the 4 are super important. And that was like a consensus between all of us.
Okay. Well, guess what, everybody? I am like Oprah. You get a strategy and you get a strategy and you get a strategy. You know what strategy I like? All of them. Because like Maria said, they're all good. And I just wanted you to think about them. And then I wanted you to process a little bit as to, oh, okay, this is important, but this is also important. And the reason there's 6 steps is because there's a whole bunch. And so we are going to talk about incorporating and utilizing every single one of those strategies right now. Okay? So Marzano's 6-step process can be described very simply with these 6 words. And don't worry, I'm going to fill in the blanks underneath. So the first would be teacher describing a word. The second would be students describing a word. Next would be drawing or creating a visual representation. 4 is doing something with the word, and we're going to look at that very specifically. 5 is discussing, and not just discussing, but using that discussion as a springboard for writing. And then lastly is playing those games. So let's jump into that, and let's start with this quote from L.C. Sterling. And I put this in every single one of my academic vocabulary trainings. So if you've done one with me, you've seen this quote. The limits of my language mean the limits of my world. All right? Please don't think me rude, but please check if that you are muted, just so that we don't have background noise. Please forgive me if you did. I'm sure it was an accident. So the limits of my language mean the limits of my world, right? All of the strategies that we just read about and discussed and shared out, right? All of them allow children to incorporate new language and to understand that language at a deep level, and then to utilize that language in a specific modality, whether it be speaking or writing, or hopefully both. Okay, now, if you have a QR code reader, I do want you to look up this article, Academic Language in Preschool, Research and Context. If you were in my last session, this is the same article, because that way if you attend multiple times, you don't have to constantly read new stuff. It's easier to kind of grab onto some of that key vocabulary. I'm also going to put the article in the chat. So let me do that real quick. Unfortunately, without 2 screens, it's impossible to put stuff in the chat. And so I'm going to put this here in the chat for you. All right. I'm also going to go, so you can click on the article from there, or you can use the QR code, but I'm going to give you 4 minutes, and you want to focus on the section, the very first section that says, what is academic language? And then on page 90, there is a chart that kind of lays out the information in the article. So read as much as you can, but go ahead and focus on what is academic language is in the introductory section and the 2 charts on page 90, okay? If you have any questions, you're unable to access the article, please let me know. All right, if you are just joining us, what we're doing is we are looking briefly in the next 3.5 minutes at an article. I'm gonna drop it in the chat one more time because new participants are unable to see old posts. So if you're just joining us, open up that article, focus on the introductory section, and page 90, the 2 charts, okay? LaShonda, is it not appearing? Because when you open it, let me click on it and see if I can't get it to come up.
I see page 89, and that's the only page I see. When I click on the link,
That's odd. Hold on one second.
Mine slides to the right. It doesn't scroll up and down.
That is very, very odd because it's just a link. Okay.
Look and see on the right-hand side of the article if there's a little arrow that you can click on to go to the next page.
LaShonda, is that working for you? Does that make sense?
it makes sense, but it's not.
It won't do it?
It won't move.
Okay, I'm trying to copy and paste it so that I can email it to you.
Okay.
So I'm trying that. We'll see if it works. Shonda, can you put your email address in the chat for me, please? By the way, if you are not experiencing difficulties, you have a little less than a minute. All right. LaShonda, I will tell you that sending it to you through my email, because I just copied and pasted, it's going to be formatted weird. I'm also sending it from my personal email because if I send it to you from my work one, every time I get a notification, it interrupts the meeting.
Okay.
But you'll at least have the content. It doesn't look pretty. But later you can use that link, which I'll send you in the follow-up email, and you should be able to open it up maybe on a different device or something like that. And a lot of times it may be your work firewall. It may be messing it up. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. I'm still admitting folks. I don't know if those are new folks or if folks are getting kicked out of the meeting. If you are new, welcome. We're glad that you're here. All right. I'm going to, one more time, I just shared, nope, that's a joke. That was the email. Here's the link to the article that we're using both today and Thursday. Okay. You don't have to open it up right this second. Okay. That's my email, everyone. Isn't it look nice? Okay. So, for the purposes of today, I have chosen the following words as key words that aid in the understanding of this article, okay? What I would recommend is when you're using Marzano's 6 steps, okay? Now, again, if the point of your reading is to simply introduce some select vocabulary, that vocabulary for some reason might be somewhat divorced from the overall purpose of the reading, right? But if you want the children to contextualize the understanding of the new words with the understanding of the lesson, I would recommend going through and choosing, you know, say 3 to 7 words that you know are difficult, are higher level, but also tie in directly to the main idea or the lesson objective for that reading, right? And so clearly, this article deals with teaching academic language to children in early childhood classrooms, right? And so it talked about academic language involves complicated syntax, figurative language, metaphors, right? Has high information density. It requires scaffolding to teach it, and it has a complex narrative structure. So we're going to be looking at those for the purposes of illustrating Marzano's 6 steps, okay? All right, so the 6 steps that we're going to focus on are 1, 2, and 3. And as I mentioned, step 1 is describe. And in this step, the teacher gives a description or an explanation using visuals or examples to appeal to learners of all types. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Then in step 2, the students provide a description or an explanation in their own words, and they do that to demonstrate their mastery. Right? So you do this initial introduction of terms, right? You allow students to demonstrate what they know based on that introduction, and then you allow the students to draw or create a representation of the new word, either with a picture, a symbol, a graphic, a cartoon, or if they're like, I don't know how to draw, because, you know, they love to, especially I noticed we had a 7th grade teacher, you know that kids in middle school love to tell you that their inability to do something means they should be excused from learning it, right? That's totally valid. So worst comes to worst, there's nothing wrong with pulling a visual off of the internet, but make sure you have a good firewall that is going to keep them from using their excuse of, oh, I didn't mean to find this incredibly inappropriate picture. All right. So let's jump in. So one of the words that I mentioned is the word figurative. So if I was talking about figurative, right, I'm going to give an introduction and I'm going to say figurative language means that the language you see has a deeper meaning, right? It doesn't literally mean what the word says. It means something else. It is symbolic language. It is language that represents more than the meaning we all know and understand, right? So this visual shows the figurative language of it's raining cats and dogs, right? And that is a metaphor, okay? It's not literally raining cats and dogs, but it's raining so heavily that it is raining cats and dogs, right? Then here, right, saving is like planning for the future, right? It's making an investment in the future, okay? So I have these visuals that allow students to make a determination as to what figurative means. Thank you. And Melody pointed out that it's an idiom because she knew that I was struggling there. Thank you, Melody. I appreciate it. I will send you a cut of my next paycheck. It'll be a very small cut, but I got you. And honestly, if I send it to you in coins with the coin shortage, you'll actually be doing pretty well. Okay, so step 2 is I allow students to write a definition of the new term based on what they understood, right? So I wrote these as if I was a kid, right? A kid usually probably in upper elementary, right? Figurative means it's like a symbol. Something figurative means it doesn't really mean what the word means, but it means something else. Wouldn't it be nice if your kids could even give you that? right? Because you think, well, that's kind of a terrible definition. But then you think, oh, actually, I can't usually get kids to get that far, right? So let's practice together. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to put you back in the same breakout room. If you were not in a breakout room, you will be assigned to one. Don't you worry. So what you're going to do is use 2 of the selected words from the article, preferably not figurative because I just did that one. I want you to choose a visual that you would show to an audience to guide them in writing the definition of the word. So you're going to put on both hats. You're going to put on the teacher hat and the student hat. For step 1, you're going to be the teacher. And in your group, I would recommend one person share their screen, open up Google, and you guys could search for visuals. Or if you prefer to just draw one on a piece of paper and hold it up, that works too. Okay? If you're real fancy and you can figure out how to make the whiteboard show up on Zoom, you can do that too. Once you choose a visual or create a visual for one word, right? Do the same for another word. And then for number 2, pretend that you're a student, pretend that you've given an introduction to that term and write a definition for how the students would write it. When we come back, I want you to drop one definition from those words that you chose into the chat, okay? Are there any questions? I am gonna put those instructions in the chat, okay? Are there any questions before I send you off? You're going to do 2 words and you're going to have a visual and a student-friendly definition. And you can make it appropriate to your grade level, or if you're in a variety of grade levels, say, okay, here's what I think 8th graders should be able to produce, right? And if you're like, well, I'm teaching kindergarten, you know what? It is okay for children to give an oral definition of a word. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to put you in your breakout rooms. And as I mentioned, you have 5 minutes. Okay, Elizabeth, don't worry if you don't have video. As long as you can hear, you should be okay. You might try exiting the meeting and coming back in. Sometimes that helps. Here we go. All right, those of you that were not in a room, I'm putting you in one right now. Please let me know if you do not receive an invitation. Everybody should have an invitation on their screen, and they do. Amy, you're muted. Sorry. Did you kick yourself out of your group? Okay, let me see if I can put you back.
I jumped out. I hit the wrong button.
What group were you in?
4.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
No, wait, it's not letting me.
Probably. Well, we were on a countdown to come back.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the thing is, I don't think it's gonna let me.
Yeah,
They'll be
that's
back in
okay.
16 seconds if you feel any better. Sorry.
That's okay. We found our visual and then couldn't figure out what to do with the visual. It's not very much time to quickly try to.
I know, but unfortunately, in an hour-long session, that's
No, I know.
all I can do.
But we had a chance to discuss what that would look like and how to explain it, so that was good.
Okay. All right. Okay, wow, we are up to 29 participants. So if you were late because of dismissal, thank you for joining us. Please know you will still receive a full hour's credit. I'm not going to penalize you for doing your job. Okay, a multi-layer cake would work. I like it. So go ahead and one person from each group drop whatever definition or as close as you got into the chat, the word and the definition, okay? Amy says that she hit the wrong button and left the group early, but really she told me you guys were annoying her, so she's like, I gotta get out of here. She did not. It's a total lie. This is Amy's second session with me. She's like, I'm not coming back. This is unbelievable that you would treat your participants this way. Okay, so I'm waiting for those definitions to get dropped in there because we can't do the next activity without those. I'm assuming you're typing. I guess I should have told you to pick somebody to do that, huh? Okay, Jet, thank you. Okay. Tasneem says building on knowledge one layer at a time. Oh, I like that. That's where the layered cake comes in, I guess, right? Yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay, while you guys keep typing, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because you need to see the screen. So go ahead and have the chat open so that you can see it, okay? I don't know why it keeps going back to that. All right. So here's what we're going to do. So we looked at step 1. You as the teacher or whoever is delivering the lesson, right? You choose some visuals to go, or a visual to go with a word. You give an explanation, right? You go through that process for whichever words you've chosen. Step 2, you have students either work independently or collaboratively to define those words. Now, I like to throw in the intermittent step. This is not part of Marzano's process. This is Gabriel's interpretation of Marzano's process, okay? I like to throw in intermittent steps where students can either respond in writing and then talk, or they can just respond orally depending on their level and the time that you have, okay? So what I want you to do is I want one brave soul to look at another group's definition and then use one of these sentence stems to respond. Your sentence helps me to understand the definition because, or in my opinion, the most important part of your definition is, all right, so go ahead and put your name in the chat because I'm not gonna unshare because you need to be able to see the screen in order to use the stem. Let me know who would like to respond to someone else's definition using one of these stems. Someone needs to be brave.
Brave.
All right, I can't see you, so you're gonna have to let me know who it is.
I'm Melody.
Okay, Melody.
The cake layer. Your sentence helped me to understand the definition, or your image to understand the definition, because it's layered, and scaffolding is about layering. It's about that foundation. So you have to have a strong foundation and build up. In my opinion, the most important part of your definition is that the support at the bottom.
Thank you so much. All right, Elizabeth, you were kind enough to volunteer next, so go, unmute yourself, and you only have to pick one of the stems. You can be an overachiever like Melody and do both if you
I
want.
am not. Stop that.
No, that's a good thing. I wasn't being mean. Go, Elizabeth.
Okay, I'm trying to, it looks like this group used the same word we did, scaffold.
Okay.
But the definition, building on knowledge one layer at a time. In my opinion, the most important part of your definition is the what's being built, the knowledge that's being built.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And then we're going to finish off. Philip, do you mind? Let us know which definition and choose a STEM, please.
Okay, I'm gonna go with scaffolding that Mr. Domingo put up there, and it's like a ladder. The different techniques or strategies to get students progress.
Okay, and so choose one of those STEMs and respond to that definition for me.
Okay, so like the ladder, because because like every step that you take, you're building up upon the new knowledge of what's being taught.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So depending on the comfort level of your students, how many times you've had that kind of discourse, regardless of their age, right? But especially with younger kids, they're going to give you very little. Okay. And so something that you need to be able to think about and use regularly is drawing, what I like to call drawing out techniques, right? So a kid gives you a response, right? Affirm that response. Oh, I love that. I love the part that you said here. Tell me some more. Which word do you think is specifically important? Why did that word impact you, right? And if they're like, I don't know. Well, what did it make you think of? What else could you connect it with? Well, I don't know, miss. Okay, well, have you ever used, you said you like the ladder part. Have you ever seen your dad use a ladder at home? Yeah. Okay. What did the ladder help him do? Well, it helped him climb up to the gutters to clean them out. Okay, so then climbing up, what does that make you think about for scaffolding? I don't know. I guess it helps you to climb up to like learn stuff, right? Again, is that a super amazing response? No, but it's a lot better than, I don't know, right? I hate, So you can settle for I don't know and get mad. I've done that in the past. That doesn't work, right? That doesn't accomplish anything. Or you can keep asking questions and annoy your students till they finally give you an answer just so you'll shut up, right? I am okay annoying children until they give me what I want. They do it to us all the time. Why can't we do it to them? Right, Philip? See, Philip's like, are you talking about your students or your own children or both?
I'm talking about my students because I don't have children, but my always.
Right, exactly. So use their own strategies against them, people, right? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, we are in the home stretch. We got 15 minutes, so let's make it happen. Okay, so step 3, right? Step 1, we show them a visual, give them an explanation. Step 2, they show their understanding by providing a definition in their own words. Step 3, they are going to create their own visual. Now, I realize I've had you choose a visual, right? Okay, so I'm not, well, you know what? I will have you do it. Why not? But so for example, they might say, oh, well, you said figurative language means something else. So the toast jumped out of the toaster, right? They literally didn't jump out of there. They don't have legs. They can't jump. But when the machine shot them up, it looked like that, right? This gentleman was so dumb that he had rocks in his brains. That's figurative language. He doesn't really have rocks in his brains, but that's how dumb he is, that his head is a box of rocks, right? I realize that's an old saying, but I really like that visual, so I left it on there. Okay, so I'm only gonna have you do one, okay? I want you to choose a word that maybe you didn't get a chance to, and this time, I don't want you to find a visual, I want you to create one. So you might have to get your piece of paper, you might have to, like I said, if you know how to use the drawing tool, it's at the bottom of your screen with the share options. But I want you just to create one, and then I'm gonna have you just hold it up to the camera, which I realize is super low tech, but the other options were not tenable. So just choose one word, work collaboratively. Now you can each create your own individual and compare and contrast, and then be like, oh, yours is the best, you're on the hot seat. Okay? So choose one more word, don't find a visual, create one. Okay? It doesn't have to be for a word you've already done. It can be for a different one. You're grown-ups. I trust you. If there's any questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to send you back to your rooms. And remember, think like a kid, because this would be what the children are doing, right? This is them creating a visual. If you're not in a room or you didn't receive an invitation, please let me know. Kenya, Tasneem, you guys okay? You're muted, so if you're having an issue, I can't hear you. All right, I guess I'm gonna put you in a different room because it looks like you didn't get an invitation. Oh, no, you're good. Kenya, you good? You want, oh, you can't unmute yourself because you kept, oh, okay. So then just hang out here, is that okay? Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot, you said your microphone's broken, right? Got you. Okay, I can see you, and you can see me or no? Okay, I apologize, I forgot about that. Okay, sorry about that. Do you want to, did you try exiting and coming back? It didn't work? Okay, okay. Sorry, I realize that's frustrating. Oh, okay. The internet's having problems, is that? You better call Charter or Spectrum or whoever and yell at them, tell them to give you a refund. Partial refund. I demand a partial. I am the best at, because I grew up in New Jersey and like, I'm sorry, I'll be nice, but if I'm paying you for a service, you better give me my service. And if not, you better give me my money back. Okay, well then just hang out if you want to look at the article or just chill out, whatever, okay? All right. Well, I see people smiling. Apparently you at least had fun creating a visual. Wallace seems very amused. I can't tell if Javier and partner are smiling because they have their mask on, but that's good. You're being safe. Everyone will be back in 10 seconds. I was gonna say, somebody wrote, Melody said she didn't shave the image. Is it like a gorilla or something? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get one last opportunity to respond with sentence stems, and here they are, okay? I'm gonna put them in the chat, but I wanted you to see them. Our group created this drawing or symbol because, okay? And then I'm not gonna have people respond for time's sake, but again, I always wanna give you the ability for children to express why they did what they did, right? Which allows them to utilize the vocabulary and verbalize their thinking so that you can take those intermittent formative assessments. But you also want other groups to be able to respond so that they get used to the ebb and flow of academic dialogue, okay? All right, so somebody go ahead and prepare to be brave. I'm gonna stop sharing, drop those in the chat, and then I'm gonna have just 2 or 3 people share out with those stems, okay? Or with that stem, sorry. I'm putting it in the chat right now. No, apparently not. There it is. Okay, our group created this drawing or symbol because who wants to be brave? Let's have somebody be brave that hasn't been brave yet. I think Mandy does. No, Mandy, I'm just picking on you. Okay, so Mariana says Philip wants to go, but didn't Philip already go? Guys, don't make me call on you because then you're going to leave me a bad evaluation.
He was the best drawer.
Philip, they said you were the best drawer.
That's fine. I can go ahead and go.
Okay.
We went ahead and we drew a rainbow with a pizza in it. And
Okay.
Maria, I'll need your help because I was drawing while y'all were talking. So Maria, I'll let you take it over from this point.
Is it the Pride Pizza or?
No.
I mean, that's fine. I just.
It's the meal was a rainbow of flavors. So pizza is a rainbow of flavors.
I like it. That's good.
I like the flag in the bottom also.
Okay, that's really good. I like it. It was a rainbow. That's perfect. Beautiful. All right. Can I get one more? One more, and then we'll close out. And that was good. That was a team effort. Well done.
All right, group 1 did a walking encyclopedia.
Oh.
I don't know if Miss Melody can share the picture or not. We did it on the board thingy, but we basically had a book with a head and legs and arms, and it said the World Encyclopedia on it. And those are, you know, metaphor for a brainiac.
I like it. Very good. That's funny because kids nowadays have no idea what an encyclopedia is. They know what a Wikipedia is, right? Do you think the encyclopedia was as wildly inaccurate as Wikipedia is? I don't think so. Domingo's like, that was great. Like your whole forehead like contracted. Like, I don't. Okay, thank you, Keisha. That was fantastic. All right, if you wanted to share and I didn't let you, please don't be mad. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to close out our time together. Okay, I'm going to put a Zoom poll up. Okay, maybe. No, I'm not going to put a Zoom poll. Did it not? Okay, apparently the Zoom poll didn't load, so I'm not going to do that. That's odd. I checked it before I did the thing. All right, it's fine. We'll give you the Zoom poll next time. No big deal. All right, I did want to tell you, if for some reason you're not able to attend on Thursday, I'm going to send you a follow-up email. I have these sessions. I realize we're already on September 24th, but you can still register for the October sessions, okay? So you have the bit.ly and you have the QR code. All right, I'm going to drop those in the chat for you, but I'm also going to send it to you in an email. So if you like this session and you would like more, there's more coming. I also have another flyer ready to go for other sessions in October, November, and December, but I'm waiting for those to be approved by the service center because it's a very long approval process. All right, I'm also going to send you my contact information. We also have an ESL Bilingual Facebook page, an ESL Bilingual YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter, and my very first bilingual professional learning newsletter. It's ESL as well. I probably should have put that, but I'm going to send you that link to the s'more as well. Okay. All right. And that's everything. So if you are not able to come back for steps 4, 5, and 6, like I said, I'm going to make that recording available to you. I will send you a PDF version of the the Google slide presentation, so you will have it. Thank you so much for your participation. I hope that this was engaging for you. I hope that it was fun, but most importantly, I hope that it was informative. And we will talk about because I realized 6 steps is a lot. So next time we'll talk about how do I break those up? Because I can't do 6 steps every time. That takes too long, right? So how can I chunk it and parcel it and use pieces of it, all right? So at this point, you are free to go. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful dinner. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions or anything else, please stick around and I will answer those. You are
Thank
very
you for a
welcome.
wonderful session.
Say again.
Thank you for a wonderful session. I enjoyed it. I learned so much just out for this brief hour.
Philip, you are the man. Thank you. You guys make the session, really. If you don't participate, if you're not into it, I promise it's terrible. I've had those. It's not fun for anyone. So love you guys in a non-weird way. You guys are out in the front lines. Like, you're the ones taking the slings and arrows. You're in the trenches. So I really want to make your job as easy as I can in any way that I can. All right. Looks like folks are logging off. I'll see you on Thursday. I will send that follow-up link to the Zoom, okay? Bye, guys. And again, if you have questions or anything, please stick around, unmute, let me know.
Gabriel, I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So those stems that you had up on there, do you make them, I mean, can you send them to us?
Yes, I created those, but I'm going to send you on Thursday. I'm going to send you the full presentation, so you'll have access to all of those. And then if you're ever working on a unit or a specific subject, because like I know this probably sounds weird. My passion is sentence stems, because you know why children don't know how to use academic language? Because we don't give them the tools to do it. And sentence stems for oral language, written language, spoken language, you know, I'm all about it. So if you're ever like, hey, what would be some good stems here? Send me the content. I promise I'll generate you some good stems. And then I'll give you some ways that you can think about to generate some on your own as well. I'm also doing a session on generating sentence stems using the question matrix aligned to Bloom's taxonomy later on. It just isn't published yet. But yes, you'll have the full presentation.
Okay.
What do we get?
Sentence stems too, so
Say
I think
again?
that's right.
Huh? Anyone?
Would we get that invitation in your newsletters for that
Well,
one?
once those other sessions are published and they go live, I will send it out on all my social media, but all of my participants, I'll email all of them because I have all your emails from your registration. So I'll just send it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you again.
Gabriel, thank you, appreciate it. And
Thanks everybody, I appreciate y'all.
Gracias por su tiempo, de verdad que me sentí como si estuviese hablando con un amigo mío de cualquier lado de mucho tiempo, así que la primera vez que cojo un taller con usted y no va a ser la última, ¿sabes?
Domingo, te lo agradezco. Y es que mira, yo crecí en Nueva Jersey. Todos mis amigos, yo tenía tantos amigos boricua. Es que, you know, yo quiero traer un poco de sazón, un poco de sabor a los sessions. Porque muchas veces son super boring. Like if you're bored, if I'm bored, everybody's bored. Nobody wants to be bored, right?
Sí, pues
Porque si no te estás divirtiendo un poco, vamos a ser honestos, no vas a aprender. No hay manera.
Y los niños no van a aprender tampoco. No. Porque si para uno mismo como maestro hay cosas que son, tengo que hablar de esto. O sea, ya vas con la actitud de, this sucks.
No, mira.
No hay manera de hacer que los niños se sientan cómodos con eso.
Tiene que ser riguroso, tiene que ser algo como la gente, pero tiene que tener un poco de vida, porque si no, no hay manera. Nadie quiere. If it's not engaging and fun, it doesn't matter how great the lesson is, they're not going to learn anything.
No, they're not going to see any pertinence on what is it that they're learning. It's just, they showing me because it's part of the curriculum, because they have to.
Exactly, pero si tú tienes pasión, ellos van a tener pasión. Si tú te estás divirtiendo, ellos se van a divertir.
I believe so. Yo quiero agregar algo a lo que Mr. Domingo dice. Si los niños no se ven engaged, they don't care. They don't gonna be do it. If you make a lot of effort, they don't see it. But that's what sometimes I make a gamification. I do Minecraft as an incentive to them, and I really see